Good morning, good afternoon, good metal. My name is Coop and I'm joined by brother Tim, and this is the Spoken Metal Show. It's difficult to know how to kind of begin these things as it's the first ever episode. We're literally going to talk quite a lot of nonsense about metal, and that's pretty much going to be it. If you find it amusing and if in any way informative, then that's great. But let's just see what happens. We've got a few things we want to work our way through on this, a few sorts of bits, if you will, and then we're just going to get cracking and just get straight into it. So, as I say, I'm joined by my brother Tim.
Hello there. How are you guys doing?
And there we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to have like kind of separate it into a few sections and hopefully kind of get a bit of a theme and a bit of a sort of format to the show. As always, you know, there'll be an avenue for you to kind of feedback to these things, and we'll put up links so you can make comments on the show and tell us where we're doing things wrong and where we're doing them kind of right, and see how we go from there. I suppose the best way to start it, like anything at the head of anything, is to start with the news. And I thought for a long time that doing the news on a metal show would be hard because there wouldn't be an awful lot. And then I remembered that Gene Simmons exists.
Gene Simmons
and he's a gift. Gene Simmons is a gift, and I don't mean in any way from a musical standpoint. I mean that he will say the most bizarre things. He's like a human soundboard, and so God bless him. And we'll get into him a little bit later, but the lead sort of thing is the situation with AC/DC.
Yeah,
so
big news, yeah.
Brian Johnson, it's out that he's had problems with his hearing, and therefore, you know, that's going to curtail maybe him doing shows ever again, or maybe strictly limit them to how many he can do with AC/DC. And obviously, that raises up a number of questions.
Yep.
Didn't you do like a thesis or some kind of study on hearing and sound?
I did, yeah. Well, hearing damage. Was
the damage caused.
Was part of my thesis.
Uh-huh.
And it seems that Mr. Johnson has become victim of overexposure to noise.
Okay. See, you see that a lot in the trade. That, like, you know, it's if it's too loud, you're too old type of thing. Yeah.
Well, hey, one message we want to put out there is, guys, wear plugs.
Yeah, and I think that's a given.
You've got to wear plugs at shows.
But I mean, how old's Brian Johnson? And how old is he?
He's in the 60s. He's a pensioner.
He's pensionable age.
He's a pensioner. I think he's past his 60s now.
I think even if you wore plugs, your hearing's not going to be great when you get to that age anyway.
No, your hearing degrades.
Deterioration,
your hearing degrades, and that is actually a fact, that your hearing does degrade as you get older, and loud noises become. I instantly heard Anchorman's loud noises in my head then. Loud noises actually become a problem for you when you become older, and that's a physiological thing. So I think he's suffering from a lot of overexposure, but maybe he's suffering from old age.
They're all old guys, like, for Christ's sake, you know, and they play like 2-hour sets as well. The guy's a fucking legend.
Well, yeah, I saw them at Download a few years ago when they had their own stage.
And this almost strayed into medical territory there, like, so I'm going to stray this back out and say, so AC/DC, they get someone else in. The talk has been the lead singer Crocus, their old singer Dave Evans. There's talk. I'm going to throw some names at you of people I think maybe should go in for the slots. Not the full show. They come on, they do 3. They do 2 songs.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, so the original singer, so Dave Evans, the original singer, he gets up. Can he still do it? Should he still do it?
I mean, how old is Dave Evans now?
He's got to be about the same age, surely.
Well,
yeah,
I'd say possibly older as well, because I think Brian Johnson's actually
he can't tour.
Younger than them.
He can't tour. Yeah, he's the young boy of the group.
Yeah,
I
he's
think,
the
like.
young boy of the group.
He can't tour though, surely.
No. I can't see when someone like Maynard from Tool saying I'm too old to tour.
Okay,
you know, I think that Dave Evans. I think no.
Okay, I 100% think that this should happen. Wick Crane from Ugly Kid Joe. I've seen him. I've heard him do AC/DC songs. There is not a man more knowledgeable about AC/DC on the planet. I'm telling you that now. I think he'd be fantastic. Young
I've
guy.
heard him do AC/DC as well, and yeah, he can
He can do it.
He can do a Johnson.
He can do it.
He can do a Johnson.
I'm not. I understand why it's Storish from Crocus has been put in the mix because he did some early demos. He tried out for a band, I believe, and I think he's done some songs, AC/DC songs on their album. I understand that, and it'd probably be that's probably a safe pair of hands. But I'm going to throw in one more name, okay? And I want what's your reaction to this? Okay,
go ahead.
Bon Scott.
Is this in like a where they did to Tupac and threw him up as a 3D
and Michael Jackson
character,
and Tupac?
yeah.
Let's face it. Let's look at the semantics of it first. Okay, the cost of it is fucking enormous. To do like Coachella when they had Tupac, it cost a fortune. AC/DC aren't short of money. They're not short of money.
As I said, they had their own stage at Download and they paid for that.
They're not short. So money ain't no object here. Yeah. So what's to say we can't get we can't get 3 songs with Bon Scott? Would you not want to see that?
Maybe 3 songs, but I think that
you couldn't
have a show because they do play for 2
hours. Well, they still
hours.
haven't done a Michael Jackson show that they've said, and surely that's all the money you could easily do a Michael Jackson show. But yeah, just 2 or 3 songs. Bon Scott, I would go fucking mental
that's
if I saw that.
a whole lot of Rosie, isn't it?
You've got it. Well, now you're asking. There's a different question. What songs do you do? It's Highway to Hell. Yeah, it's Whole Lot of Rosie.
It's got to be a Whole Lot of Rosie.
So, well, what's the?
I'd say the Jack. The Jack has always been a great song, though.
If I was the accountant at that, I would be like, you can't have that because the Jack's like 6 minutes 20 long or something like that. It's a long song, so you can only have the hits because it's like $10 million a second, isn't it? Something to do a hologram,
something insane like that.
Yeah. But just to see, can you imagine that when that happens? He strides out in his like cut-off jeans and the cut-off jackets with his hair. Oh, just, you know what I mean? The only problem is there's going to have to be an extra added expense because there'd have to be 2 young ladies escorting him as well. So there's an extra expense for that hologram.
Yeah. I think they've got enough petty cash to do that though.
Yeah, I think AC/DC is short of money. The other kind of sort of sidebar to this is when bands do switch out various members. Can they carry on? So we're saying AC/DC potentially now. It's almost like it's almost like it's a tribute act. It's only really what Angus is Cliff are the only sort of real original members. Paul Malcolm.
You have missed out on some of the singer from The Answer. Who The Answer basically are AC/DC.
Well, you got to say, what are they called? Baby DC. What are they called?
AC Dixie.
No, the other AC Dixie.
They could do it.
I think they should support them. That would be genius. That's a genius move.
That's a show.
Surely their whole career's been to get them to support. And they probably have. No, the other Airborne. Surely Airborne must be sitting there going, why the fuck isn't the phone ringing?
Well, Airborne are a young
Baby DC.
Are they from the past? And they've been transported by someone from the future.
Maybe, but they are just like copyright infringements with guitars. It's just like they're just AC/DC.
It terrifies me. It's
so close.
It goes to show you can't copyright a chord sequence.
No, you can't.
It's a very good thing. It's a very good thing for Airborne.
And you just but that's surely they've got to be able to shout there. Surely the lead singers just must be going right. Well, I'd best be getting ready to get this phone call, like you know.
Well, surely he would get a phone call.
Or maybe they're just going to say, listen, there's too much money at stake.
Airborne are Australian, aren't they?
They are Australian.
They're Australian, so it's home turf.
By nationality, you're in, like, you know. But then, like I say, it brings up the interesting question then of bands carrying on without certain members. Okay, so AC/DC, think about it. Started off with Dave Evans, Bon Scott. There was that big thing when Bon Scott passes away, and you're like, "There's no way we can fill that." And then Brian Johnson comes on, and it does Back in Black, and they do some of the best albums they've ever done.
Arguably their best album
for many, but for many, it's the intersection, isn't it? Because Bon Scott wrote loads of the lyrics and wrote some of the ideas and stuff, and it was almost kind of partly written there, so it's like a nice handshake. But then you get things like Kill Switch Engage. So you get the original singer, you get Jesse, and then you get you move to the new one with Howard. Then you go back, and it's like, can bands carry on, and how many band members have to leave before it's like it's just a fucking joke? You know what I mean? So
well, within bands though, I mean,
if Angus goes from AC/DC, can they play as AC/DC? Is that just
not
is that a fair no?
If Angus goes, no.
Okay,
no, absolutely not. No, there's not a chance. Angus Young is AC/DC.
Okay. I agree, but I would say that I bet you if he died, there would be a conversation amongst the hierarchy, whoever runs that, where they would go, can we do some kind of show and play some AC/DC songs?
Well, I'm
they
sure
would
they could. I
definitely
mean,
do
a
that.
lot of guitarists could do what he does is not exactly hard to do.
Yeah, but it's the old adage of he chose to do it. You
Yeah,
know?
absolutely.
It's
I mean,
always-
he owns it.
anybody can write the riff
He
of
still
Back in
owns
Black,
it.
but he did. You know,
He
well,
still owns
Malcolm
it.
did.
He
Malcolm
still
did.
owns. He still owns
I
that type
think
of
that
rock.
I think that Malcolm was probably the biggest tragic thing that happened in the whole show. He's the
Yeah.
riff guy. He's the rhythm guy. He's held it all together. Like Malcolm.
Their members are dropping like flies, whether it be illness or legal reasons.
So thinking about people, bands carrying on without their particular members. I'll throw you a band, yeah, and we'll start
Yeah.
taking band members out, and you say if you're still buying the ticket to go and see them. Let's
Okay.
take Maiden, okay, Iron Maiden,
Okay.
okay. Currently, we know the lineup. Yeah, it's quite a lot of people to go through here, but let's go through and say Dave Murray leaves. So one of guitar players.
Oh, Dave Murray lead. Now you see, that's a real hard one.
Okay.
That's a real hard one. Technically, when you look at any decent guitarist can come in and play Dave Murray's
Could play
parts.
his part.
Yeah, they could. They couldn't necessarily write a new album of
Yeah.
authentic Maiden songs, but Dave Murray is one of the sounds of Maiden.
Yeah.
But is he the most iconic sound of Maiden?
Would you notice if he was gone?
Is he the author?
Yeah.
Where you think of he may have written the songs, but is he the author? Is he who you think of? And I don't think I don't think he is.
Who else?
you think
Who
of.
else are we taking away then? Let's take someone else away.
Well, you can take Yannick Years away. Yannick Years.
the way-
You can take
like,
him
you
away.
could
I
just-
think Dave Murray is far more influential.
No, I understand. I'm hearing that, and I've got. There's no argument with you, Taylor. But that was so throwaway. Anyway, Yannick
I was
went.
throwaway.
Fuck! I hope he never misses a meeting because he's gonna get shafted.
I just think
Jesus. What?
I've seen them live, and
Yeah.
they're amazing live.
Well, let's take some other
What?
people away. Okay, so we've talked
Okay.
about Yannick. Okay, Yannick's out the fucking door. By the way, Yannick, I'm
He's
very
gone.
sorry. You're
I'm
gonna
sorry,
have to
Yannick.
go back. Do you play? Yeah,
I'm sorry, Yannick. You're a great player, but no.
but not essential. You're still going to see them. Yannick's not
I
playing.
just possibly picked you up and put you in a wheelie bin. I do
Who,
apologise.
who else then? Let's take someone else from him.
You can't take away Harris.
I think you can't.
No, you can't,
I'm
no.
trying to think of a cognitive argument for that, but his is a visual thing as much as it's the music.
Yes, he is. I mean, he's
If
the
you went
gunner.
to see Iron
He's the
Maiden,
gunner.
yeah, if
He's
you
the
went to see Iron
gunner,
Maiden and he didn't put a foot on a monitor and point his gun like a machine gun, yeah, there would be a riot, and rightly so.
Say his guitar like a machine gun because he doesn't have a gun on stage.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, but no, Harris is
Okay, so
is
Harris, he's definitely in.
Harris is pretty much the heart.
Okay,
of
but so
Iron Maiden, I
if
would
he
say.
goes, you don't go.
No.
Okay, so let's take some more away.
Well, we're avoiding the obvious.
Let's get
We're
the elephant in the
idea.
room. Okay,
You can't take Bruce Dickinson away now.
okay.
I know he's not the original singer,
Yes, yeah.
but
Can't take
arguably
him,
they've
can't go.
done absolutely all their best work with Bruce Dickinson.
He's totally
When
untouchable.
Blaze Bailey came in. I mean, he's a great singer and all, but
He's totally untouchable. You can't.
you can't touch Bruce Dickinson. No, you can't. He's rock or metal.
Well, for one
He's
thing,
rock metal royalty.
who the hell would fly them everywhere? Like, they're not going to get.
Yeah.
Okay, this would be an interesting one. Now, let's make this personal. Let's get personal now. Now it's Jerry Cantrell's 50th birthday today,
This
so
is
we'll do
quite
Alice in
personal,
Chains. We'll do Alice in Chains. Like now, I've got nothing but love for them. But okay, so the ticket is it's $40 or £40, whatever you want to do to go and see them.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take original members or virtually original members. We can't have Lane, so obviously
We've lost Lane.
We've lost Lane, so that's
Lane.
almost a mute point. But let's say we could have him, and we could have him in there. Okay, let's start taking members away. Apart from Jerry, is there anybody that we can get away with not having? Mike Inez?
He's not the original bass player.
Yeah,
anyway,
but I
you
think
know,
they
and-
certainly did their best work with him.
Yeah,
Because if you want original
fair,
guys,
but Facelift though, that's arguably some of their best. It's not their best album.
right?
Some of their best songs are on Facelift.
I
Though.
don't know. I don't know about that. I think, yeah, okay,
You got Man in the Box for a
Yeah.
start. It's just a straight away, and We Die Young.
yeah.
They're two, and they were a foretelling
Yeah. Well,
of what was to come.
let's call this Man in a Box. Yeah, is Alice in Chains wrote their best, probably their best one. Okay, third best song. Wrote one of their best songs, and almost crystallized their whole sound in one song almost straight away. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
tough.
they did,
That when a
yeah.
band does that, that's very tough. When
Hard to follow.
Okay, so let's cut to the chase. Jerry Cantrell isn't in this current tour for Alice in Chains. It's all the members, including Lane as well. And but it's not Jerry. He's hurt his hand doing something, he can't do it. So he's side of stage. He's there giving them moral support, but they've got someone else.
Have we brought Lane back to life?
Lane's alive.
Lane's back
Lane's
to life.
alive.
I'd go and see them
Okay, just because Lane's alive.
just because of Lane.
Okay,
But without Jerry,
it's over.
I know William Duval does a great job.
Yeah.
I know he's people do actually quite hate him a lot, but you know what? Live, the guy pulls it off.
Okay.
The guy does pull it off. He's a
Okay.
little bit he's a little bit glam rock at times,
Okay.
in a way. But without Jerry, they're not Alice in Chains.
Okay. See, this is the crux of what we're talking about. Is that, like, without certain people, it takes the identity completely out of a band. Now, moving it on to, we were going to talk a little bit about some stuff with Metallica. Metallica's probably, I think every band that we've named, we could take away all but one person.
Yeah.
How many can we take away from Metallica? Current lineup. Let's go with current lineup.
A current lineup. Please take away Lars.
Right, so Lars goes.
Yeah,
Why
you
does
can-
Lars go?
Well, I know Lars has a lot of personality,
Right.
and if you look at it, he's probably the most disliked of all the members.
Right, I
of
would
Metallica.
I would say thanks to the Napster thing, he's now the most. Yeah, at one
Yeah.
point was one of the most disliked people on the planet. Like, yeah,
Absolutely, and also the
But
fact that
that-
he does often act like a bit of a tit.
yeah, but this is playing live, so
Yeah,
what-
he acts like a tit when he plays live. I've had the pleasure and honor of seeing Metallica 11 times now.
okay,
And I don't watch Lars, and I'm even I'm a guitarist, as Coop knows. I watch drummers. I
Okay.
do watch the drummer a lot.
he's
And I just-
largely hated amongst the drumming community, Lars, isn't he? I mean, I know that's like Santanga and all the rest of it. He probably hasn't done her any favors, but
no, it
he's
hasn't, no.
largely hated. And what I don't get, right? I don't watch drummers. Okay, I don't follow drummers. And maybe some of our drumming friends out there can post some stuff and explain this to me. And am I wrong in thinking this? One is got some great drumming in that
Yeah.
song.
Yeah, it definitely
am I
does.
right in thinking that? Yeah.
I think Lars started something
Right.
initially,
Right.
and I think it just became a little bit too much for him.
Okay.
You know, he reached his peak at one.
Right. Okay. So in Justice
And
for
that
All,
was his peak.
that was it.
Drumming peak.
Okay. Wow.
Because after that, he couldn't do
Okay.
it anymore, really.
Right. So Lars goes. Yeah. Hammett's surely easily replaceable. Surely.
Yeah, I'd think well, but you could clearly get rid of Robert Trio.
Yeah, well,
Or
no,
however
but
you
no
pronounce
offense,
it.
no
You
offense to
easily get rid
Roberts,
of,
but
you
he's
know.
because he's first in, he's first
Yeah,
out.
he's first out, yeah, yeah.
That's fair.
I was just being a bit mean about Lars.
Yeah.
Robert is the first, even though he's
First
a
in, first
fantastic
out.
bass player.
Yeah,
There's
first
no one
in,
can say
first
he's
out.
bad. Then it is Kirk. Kirk is
Okay.
is
He
the next
goes.
most important member.
Okay, so then the question is, it always seems to be either the lead singer or lead guitar player who seems to be the guy that we have the toughest thing to get
Yeah,
rid
well,
of.
you said the words though. There, you said lead.
Lead it, but there it is. Yeah, I
Lead.
suppose.
You said lead.
But
and
then I
they-
wouldn't say
they do lead
yeah.
the band.
So Hetfield can't go. You wouldn't go to see a Metallica without Hetfield. Well, he did when he burnt his arm and he played.
Well, he sang though.
Yeah, he was there.
He sang.
Yeah,
He
but-
sang all
so
the
he's
songs.
he's not even in the fucking building. Do you still go? It's Metallica.
No, because it's not Metallica.
Okay, it's as simple as that. It's
I'm
just-
saying
it's
no,
not
no,
Metallica.
it's not Metallica. It's
Wow.
not Metallica without Hetfield. It's his voice. It's his
What if
guitar
what if
playing,
what if
everything's
Cliff
combined.
Burton is on bass?
Oh, that wasn't fair.
Cliff, we
I think
we
for
can
the
have the pleasure of seeing-
spectacle of
just
having
of seeing Cliff. Okay,
play, because I never got the chance to see Cliff play, I personally
yeah,
think Jason should have stayed,
okay.
and I'm not entirely
Well-
sure that Metallica are
Are-
100% Metallica
Okay.
without Jason now.
Isn't it funny how people as well, how seriously people take when someone has a lineup change and they're like, I'm not going to see them because it's not the original lineup. I'm not going to see them because it's not
Yeah.
it's not the lineup that did this album or the lineup
Well,
that did that
funnily
album.
enough, because another thesis I did about Alice in Chains, about their lineup change.
Right.
Is that a lot of people said it's not Alice in Chains without Lane. His voice
Yeah.
was unique. His voice was the author of the band, as it were.
Yeah.
Well, the fact is he wrote hardly any of that.
Okay.
And as a reply, that Sean Kinney and Jerry Cantrell both said, well, it's our fucking band. We'll do what I want. We do what we want because
Yeah.
it's our fucking band.
It's people seem to think that they own bands. That's what it comes from, isn't it? It's like
People
you
get
can't
very
do
invested.
that. You can't do that. You can't
Yeah.
mess with my.
People
with
get
my
very
thing.
invested
Yeah.
in what they love. And I think that really hits deep and hard inside, you know?
Yeah, I think that's it. I think people get so attached to it that when you mess
Yeah.
with that thing, people go, okay, well, I'm not happy now because there was a guy. Apparently, the story goes there's a guy that when Kirk Hammett was walking down the street and he'd just done the video for One, and a fan spat in his face because they'd done a video because they're a thrash metal band and they'd just done a video, and it's because they took it. You know, that was his band in his pocket, and they
Yeah.
kind of took it and became something else, and he was like, well, I don't want everybody else.
Well, it's
like
what
me.
happened. It's what happened when Dylan chose to play an electric guitar on stage.
Yeah, Judas.
Yeah,
And he's so. Have you heard that record? He's so fucking gutted when that guy says. Like normally heckles don't mean anything. You know, heckles to an artist, give it up. It doesn't mean unless it's insightful and really, really funny. Give it up. But that there, you can hear Dylan just go, he says like, oh man, and you're like, fuck, he got to him. Like the only time I've ever seen someone heckle someone and it was genuinely amusing was at this, and for something called the Spoken Metal Show. This isn't going to work, but I got free tickets to see Blair. No, it wasn't. It was Damon Albarn, even worse. So all the metal
Wow.
people are just
Yeah,
leaving
yeah,
us in
yeah.
droves here now. But he
hear the door
came on
shutting.
stage in like a donkey jacket coat, like obviously kind of a high fashion but looking downtrodden type of thing.
Yeah.
And
Derelict.
just
Derelict, yeah.
some voice just at the back just went, "Nice coat, dickhead." And in many ways, I thought it was the best thing I'd ever heard. But anyway, it's okay.
To be fair, it is one of the best things I've ever heard. He said
Heckles
it
the
today,
point,
no, but
yeah.
well, they were the best heckle I've ever heard.
Okay,
it
go
was
on.
at a local gig with a local band who I will not name.
Okay.
And a member of the band
Right.
shouted into his microphone, "Headbang!
Okay.
Everybody headbang!"
Okay.
Silence, except for someone at the back who went, "No."
It's the Life of Brian thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're all individuals. I'm not.
You've got to be careful. Is it that is the moral of that story is you have to be careful with what you say
It's got to be
on
insightful and
stage.
funny. But yeah, Dylan sound. So we've covered Dylan and Blair and Damon Albarn. We have gone massively off topic. But let's just say happy birthday, Jerry Cantrell. You know, we
Absolutely.
still love you.
Can we have another album as well?
Yeah, please. Yeah, very, very much so.
Yeah, you know it's always Dinosaurs was a great album.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Devil Put Dinosaurs here. That was a great album, and I think it was slightly overlooked actually. And
So let's get another album, and don't change your lineup.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, so I mean, what it leads us quite nicely onto a section, which I've thought about many ways to do it. I think the first thing we were going to call it was back catalogue, but now I think I've changed it to the much sweeter fuck, marry, kill. And this is where I want to just kind of look at a particular artist. In this case, it's Metallica, mainly because we've just been talking about them. The Master of Puppets was 30 years old or something. And
Recently,
also,
and then
yeah,
years with that, yeah.
here's a fact for you. Last week, the Black Album sold more copies than Megadeth's Dystopia album. Think about that for a second.
So when Megadeth's album was released,
Yeah.
the
Oh
Black
yeah,
Album
sorry,
the Black
we
Album
still
still
sold more copies. Yeah.
copies.
So that's interesting. But anyway, so fuck, marry, kill is exactly what you think it is. It's that old game where you choose, who you want to fuck, who you want to marry, who you want to kill. But with the slight change of it, we've chose metal bands. Yeah, we're doing Metallica. It's the big bad wolf. They're the kind of the biggest thing we should tackle. But I'm happy to do anybody. Feel free to suggest anybody.
You're
Crazy
happy to
bands.
do anyone.
I'm happy,
happy
to
to do anybody.
I
Okay.
think that's on a T-shirt I've got somewhere. On the back, obviously.
Oh, I think we've just found the slogan for our first T-shirt.
Yeah.
it.
So yeah, the thing is, the fuck is probably your guilty pleasure, and the marry is the thing you take to your desert island, and the kill pretty much speaks for itself with fire. So we're gonna do. Well, let's do Metallica. The Big Bad Wolf, huge, the biggest rock act, metal act, if you want. So maybe most people don't hang them.
Controversial.
Controversial.
Always
if you want.
controversial.
So before we get into this, do we count things like live albums?
Oh, you
Do-
see,
do
that,
live
that's
albums
tricky with
come into-
Metallica because
Or are we only going to say
we've
studio
got a
albums?
glaring album there of
I agree.
and no, I think you include live albums
Okay.
because if we do Maiden,
Not.
if we do Maiden,
It's got to be. Surely it's got to be studio albums. You can't do live albums. You can't do that because then
Well,
it's.
what about live albums with new songs on?
No, you can't even have that because they played. No, you can't have. You can't have. You got to have. It's got to be. There's got to be. Otherwise, it's fucking madness. You've got to have. You've got to have a set list. Otherwise, we'd be going for fucking ever.
Well, maybe that's our favourite.
You could name a bootleg when they played
for
fucking county fairgrounds or something. You can't. It has to be studio.
official albums. You've got to be official albums.
Well, although what's
Look
an
at-
official album?
You're talking about S&M.
No, I'm not, right? I'm talking about live shit binging page. That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
I think that can't be. It should because it's an amazing album, but
It's a great collection.
I don't think it should be because I don't think it's a studio album.
Okay.
Do
fair
do
dues.
some of the live
Okay,
albums make
fair
them
dues.
into your fuck, marry, kill?
Not on this, but I would
Okay.
actually still
Then
argue
we'll-
for S&M is a close second for something.
Okay, I know when to fight my battles and when to hold my cards, and I'm holding them now. I'll tell you what though, do we count stuff like Lulu? Because Lulu's just a fucking target on its back, isn't it? You
I
can't
don't
count that.
know because I think obviously with
It's not in their canon of
it's
of
not,
albums, is
it's
it?
not really Metallica, is it?
Okay.
It's the Metallica being a backing band for someone.
It's and I'm trying to quote. I'm paraphrasing as best I can here. Like I'm trying to quote someone. They said it's the sound of two millionaires jizzing over each other, and that's not my words.
That's
But
yeah.
you know what? I'm not going to disagree with that. And God bless Lou Reed. You know what a fantastic artist he is. But it's a mess. It's a mess. It is. It's a mess.
It's I will directly quote someone I know, a good friend of mine, that it's a drunken fuck of a performance.
Drunken fuck of a
It's a
performance.
drunken fuck of a performance.
So let's put that to the side. Let's work out the sort of the list of albums and let's start going. So for your first first fuck, it will be which album?
My fuck for Metallica, and this is an album that I will happily have extensive coitus with for one night.
Okay, so it's not
For
even.
one night.
This is well, no, you got to be understand that that's marry. So this is
for fuck. It's for one night
okay,
only.
Okay,
One night only, and that's going to be Justice.
okay. So and Justice for All poignant because they're reissuing a lot of stuff now. Ride the Lightning, Justice, and there's talk of them kind of bringing the bass back to it.
Well, this is the reason for my. It's
Okay.
only in the fuck.
Okay, it's only in the fuck.
It's
okay.
only in the fuck because
Okay.
the production on that album is so absolutely awful.
Fleming Russell, is it?
Fleming Rasmussen or something like that.
So
It's just it
the
wasn't
production's
really. To
so
be fair,
bad.
it wasn't him.
okay.
It was Lars and James coming in
And
and saying, "Yeah, turn that down. We
Okay.
don't want bass."
so
We
hold
don't
on, is
want
the
that
production
there."
bad because it's not got bass, or production bad irrespective of the bass? The whole thing is produced bad.
I just think.
Because I thought some of the guitar stuff on there is
I
great.
think the guitars aren't bad.
Blackened.
The
you know,
drums are tiny.
short of straw. Yeah.
The
okay.
drums are tiny.
Right.
It's as a band, I feel it's their best performance.
Okay.
As an album.
Okay.
But that mix is just so shit.
So you'd welcome the bass coming back then? You think that's going to fuck?
Well, for
would, that,
what,
would
you
you
know,
marry
people-
that album then if the
people
bass
have-
got
You know,
brought back to?
I would.
Okay.
I would. People have amplified the bass. They've brought
Yeah,
it
there's
forward.
been
They've tried to
mixes with-
remix.
yeah.
People have played the bass lines that are meant to be on it.
Yeah.
And do you know what? The difference is astonishing.
Yeah, I always thought it was weird. Yeah, so he comes along, Newston. Obviously, he's new. He comes from Flotsam and Jetsam or the previous band, and he's still
Yeah,
and he's
Flotsam and Jetsam.
and he's playing away. And then I think like he listens back to the mix and he must have thought, "Fuck." Do you know what I mean? At first, he must have thought it was a fucking joke, and then it's done and the album's done, and then he goes on tour and he must be thinking, I could play whatever the fuck I wanted as the bass lines because no one fucking knows.
He could have played anything because it's just not. It's not actually there, is it?
Wow.
It's not really there.
Okay. My fuck. There's no other way to put this. It's the Black Album. And there it
Okay.
is.
So-
and
so what-
okay. So the reason
so
is
why?
this. Okay, is largely believed amongst the sort of the hardcore and the faithful, and virtually every single person I know is that the Black Album's kind of like them, the start of everything going fucking wrong. It's like the big sellout album where everything kind of like goes contrived almost to the point of like reducing it to a nil value. So like everything's kind of reduced and simplified, and all the prog elements that Master of Puppets brought in have all fucking gone. And it's kind of the final diluting of a once great thrash band. And that's what a lot of people believe.
Yeah, they weren't thrash anymore. Maybe Through the Never was thrash, almost.
But the reason I have it is because, you know what? It's one of those albums. I thought I'd heard it a billion times before.
Yeah.
We've all heard Sandman. We've all heard Sad But True. But then you listen again and you get caught or you get blindsided by like The God That Failed. And you're like, well, hold on a second. That's not fucking radio friendly at all. And it's
well, neither is The Unforgiven, and that was a single.
You know, so how many singles did they get off that? It's like fucking everything on it's a single, isn't it?
There's like 5 singles of that.
That's fucking nonsense. That's like fucking Thriller. You know what I mean? It's like fucking where every ridiculous amount of. But the point is for me is that still it's a guilty pleasure because even when I put it on, I heard Enter Sandman getting played on classic rock radio. Fucking hell, that's how you know. You know what I mean?
That's a bit.
It's entered
upsetting,
into that
yeah.
thing. I
remember buying the CD single.
And I've seen it. I've seen it when they performed it in full, and it was great. It was great. I couldn't wear it as a flag. I couldn't, have that as a flag. I love the Black Album, but I do.
Yeah.
That's always there for me. Okay, so
it's overplayed though.
God,
it is.
Of course, it's overplayed.
Horrifically overplayed.
Yeah, of course, it's overplayed. It was done to death. Like it's done to death.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm finding it hard to argue with this actually.
Okay.
To be honest with you, and
Okay.
there is gold in there though, as you said.
There is.
The
There's
gold,
some great stuff.
the gold in there now is hidden gold. It's hidden gold because it's the
Bob
struggle. The struggle
Bob
within.
Rock's kind of hid it all, and he's
Yeah,
just waving,
yeah,
going,
yeah.
"Look at the singles."
They've hidden it at the back,
Yeah.
and they're trying to keep it away from us. The real, true, great songs are like The Struggle Within, My Friend of Misery, The God That Failed,
Yeah.
and The Unforgiven.
Yeah.
The Unforgiven for me is my favourite Metallica song
Okay.
because first of all, the solo is utterly top class.
Right.
The song is top class.
Why
But it's
do you
not
think,
a thrash album anymore.
Why do you think people don't like it? Because there are a contingent of people that don't like it, despite it selling 10 million copies every year.
But it goes back to you're not
Why
allowed to
don't-
change.
Okay,
You're
and
not allowed
that
to
was them
change.
changing too much.
Yeah, they became
So
commercial.
the first time you heard that album, you hated it, or you liked
no,
it, or
I
adored it?
I mean, like it gave me a pretty severe music boner for
Okay.
a long time.
Music boner. Okay,
But this is an album that came out when I was 15.
yeah.
So
1991. Yeah, 1991.
yeah, I was 15 years old
Okay.
and I shit a chicken.
Okay. So we go on to the marriage now. We've done the the dirty side of things. Let's go with the marriage.
Yes.
So you get an album by them now. You Can Marry. This is forever because we don't believe in divorce on the Spoken Metal Show.
No,
this is forever.
No. Once
This
you say
is-
yes, it's
this is kids. This is the full fucking whole thing. You have this forever.
grandkids,
It's
mortgage,
everything. It's everything. It's everything. So,
Yeah.
what's your album? Metallica's.
Well, it's quite poignant. It's Master of Puppets.
Okay. Is Master of Puppets a safe choice with that?
It's a safe choice, but
Okay.
my reasons are being
Okay.
that there isn't a weak song on that album.
Okay.
For me, anyway.
For you, well, it's gonna. Yeah, there's gonna be some
Isn't
subjectiveness.
a
to
weak
it.
song on that
Okay.
album. Okay.
Yeah.
And I think as an album, it's the strongest collection of songs they have.
Right.
For me,
Okay.
it's the strongest collection of
What
songs.
in terms of flow? In terms of like one song to the other to the
and
next.
also
to the...
like the fact that album flows perfectly for me
Right.
from one to the next.
Right.
It's crushing. I would say it's the heaviest album that they did.
Okay.
The Thing That Should Not Be.
Okay.
Destroys.
Yeah. Still regularly seen as being one of the heaviest songs.
Yeah,
they've
it
ever done.
absolutely destroys.
And that was, I think we can both agree that that album's like proggy as all hell. There's all kinds of stuff
absolutely.
going there.
Time signatures alone, and they didn't realize what they were doing.
Yeah.
Because that's in there. That's
Well, they were all
evidence,
fucking. That's when they're going through this large amount of substance abuse. That's what. Yeah, that's what that's.
Yeah.
And that's probably been the cause of a lot of good things in their career. Sadly, that's been one of the
Colombian
things.
marching powder was quite
Do you know
prevalent,
what I mean?
wasn't it?
That's been a large part of it. Do you think they ever go back and listen to the album and think to ourselves, we're in just that was the peak? Did they think that was the peak?
I think they've been trying to recreate
Yeah.
since the Black Album, since they a lot of people say, I don't mind Reload and Reload. They're okay. They're not really metal though, and then they're not. They're definitely
I
not thrash.
would. I did the metal.
Heavy. They're heavy.
The heavy albums, like, but then that's a whole separate offshoot of what is metal, But for me, I think Harvester of Sorrow. I mean, there's a lot of songs that just are stalwarts of their set now. That are always there.
Do they get annoyed playing those songs? Probably.
It's fucking hell. That's a given. That
Or
happens all
does
the time.
or does it because it strokes their pocket every time they play those
one
songs?
It's one of those albums that you can put on, and I think every shade of what any metal sort of, like, you get anybody who's into black metal, someone's into thrash, someone's just a rock fan, someone's into prog metal. I think that you could put that on and you could walk away and it'd be pretty safe. I think that'd get a pass. I think everybody in the room would go, okay.
If you put, I mean, I was fortunate enough. It was 10 years ago at Download to see them play that in its entirety.
Wow.
And to see Robert Trio actually play the bass solos.
Yeah, with his
in
fingers.
Orion, it was just like,
I think a lot of that album is Cliff.
It is Cliff. It's Cliff's album, really, when you
There you
think
go.
about it.
Yeah.
It's Cliff's
Very,
album.
very well.
And
Could very well be.
it also marked the advent of No More Mustaine.
Yeah. It's kind of
The Mustaine influence had gone.
Mustaine had gone, and he'd up and fucked off. And
Don't get me wrong.
Megadeth,
I like Megadeth. Okay, I'll say that. I love Megadeth.
But, unless someone else suggests via whatever network we kind of set up for this, anybody else, we'll do Megadeth next. Let's get it out the way. And I say get it out the way because it's a tricky little beast, the Megadeth one.
That's a toughie.
It's a weird one, but we'll maybe do that unless anybody else suggests anything else. Fuck knows what we're going to do when we get to like the likes of Pantera, because this is going to be an out-up fight. Okay, so my Mary, unequivocally as well. Do you know when I thought of this, I thought I know what this is. I didn't even think it was the first thing I went to. Ride the Lightning. And I'll tell you, and almost what's going to suck, mainly for the purposes of a podcast, is going to suck is for largely the same reasons you've got for Master of Puppets, but with one slight proviso. Okay, and that is, I thought that Ride the Lightning, like just the full album, front to back, covered more ground. And what I mean by that is exactly this. So with Master of Puppets, you get a lot of prog elements, a lot of thrashing, some experimental stuff as well.
Yeah.
But I think they reached further. Yeah, with Fade to Black, Trapped Under Ice. I think they reached further.
Trapped Under Ice.
Unfortunately, the only thing that you have got to me, where I will be at the altar with Ride the Lightning, and you will run and you will stand against the glass and go, no, you would be that could be the start of when things went wrong. Like Fade to Black, that type of thing was the start of where it was like, we could maybe do a whole song like this. I think that was the start of. I think that was.
Is that a bad thing though? Is that a bad thing for a band to? This is again the argument, and it comes in again. Is diversification as a band?
Can you be that? But
you become a pariah if you want to do something different, and that's is that fair? Should they be faithful to their fans?
Yeah, who's responsible for a band? Why do they have to answer to fans?
Exactly.
And what point does it go from like But so I mean that you got like he opens with Fight Fire with Fire, which is just that's a great thrash tune. That
as is Ride the Lightning.
Look at that three there. Ride the Lightning, For Whom the Bell Tolls, Fade to Black. Now fucking that's a trivector of fucking darkness
it
right
becomes,
there. Like,
it dips then though for me.
What?
Trapped Under Ice and Escape. I mean, Escape's just not. No.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not on board.
I had a
with
quick
Escape.
look at some of the figures. Lars always like documents all the performances. Like fucking what they ate on every show and all that shit. And Escape's one of those. It's a lesser one. Yeah, but that's okay. It's not a bad song.
It's not. I just don't think that happens in
and also, this is the one. Call of Cthulhu. That was a Mustaine riff, right? Apparently that was one of the last ones of his there. Like, but still, I am yours. We are married, and that is I've got honestly purely if it's not for that three there of the Ride the Lightning, For Whom the Bell Tolls, and Fade to Black, just for that three there gets me.
Just for those fair dues, because Trapped Under Ice and Escape are shoehorned in there. like some kind of unwanted cousin.
Trapped
I-
Under Ice is
I-
shoehorned in.
It's shoehorned in. I'm sorry, I'm not on board with it.
That's outrageous.
I can't get on board with those. They before Creeping Death,
Right.
which is one of my top 3 Metallica songs.
Yeah.
It's his best lyrics.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
It's his best lyrics of any song.
Yeah.
And like, why have Trapped Under Ice and Escape before that?
Well,
Is that so you will continue to listen to the album because you know
No.
Creeping Death's there? Because this was the era of vinyl.
Yeah, hold on. So which is the switch then? What was the spread on the thing? I'll have to. I've got it on vinyl here, but what's
Well,
this?
the track listing
It's got to be. It's got to be then. Fade to Black's the last song on the first side. Then
which is actually quite
that's perfect.
it's a doer, really, isn't it?
That might be. I'm going to go and say that might have been one of the most perfect A sides in the history of metal.
Yeah, I go with that. Yeah, but then they ruined it with the fucking B side.
A ruin is a tough and an unfair word.
It
for
is.
that.
I'm being harsh. But to spend the rest of my life
There
with
is
someone,
an army of garage bands out there now that would kill for Escape, just Escape, and they'll just keep doing it for about 6 or 7 albums.
you know, I think a lot of bands do that. Actually, funnily enough, you know, you can't play Escape for the rest of your life, though.
Yeah. Well, this is you'd expect it to.
No, you are expected. Well, yeah,
fans
the fans want you to
play it. Yeah.
but it's just it disrupts the flow.
What that song disrupts the flow. I think
Those two songs disrupt my flow.
we've got to move on because there is no. The problem here is that we want to try and do this live in a live situation where there's live feedback where either Tim wins or I win. And we don't have that at the moment, so God help us when we do, because we're going to find out some.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to be
like,
sending a text to Cooper about 3:00 tomorrow morning. They say you're fucking wrong.
You're
Escape
wrong.
shit.
You're wrong, Escape
Yeah.
shit. Okay, so this should be easy,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know if it's going to be.
It should be easy.
Kill is the thing that dies with fire, and there's some fairly obvious contenders here, but. Shoot, okay, you kill the album that disappears and never be heard again.
I've really struggled with this. Really struggled with this.
Because it's going to get killed with fire, done, gone.
There's an obvious choice.
Which is?
There's an obvious choice that I'm not necessarily choosing, but there's an obvious choice, which is Saint Anger.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
But.
Okay.
No, I actually like Reload and Reload, so I think a lot of people would choose Load and Reload. I'm not going to touch them. I actually like them as albums.
Right. Okay.
I'm going to try the album that I enjoy the least.
Okay.
Not that I hate the most.
Okay.
The album that I enjoy the least.
Okay.
And I don't really care about it.
Okay.
Is Kill 'Em All.
What's interesting here, listeners, is that I was worried about me picking Kill 'Em All and getting a wealth of fire. And what's actually happened is that Tim's picked it as well. Now, I don't know if I've got the stones to throw Kill 'Em All in the fire, because I can imagine there's a lot of people going, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, I've just lost about
the fuck.
I've lost about 300 Facebook friends, I think.
Yeah. Can I throw out why you think you may decide to kill that album? Can I throw one word?
Throw it straight back at you.
Okay.
Want. Yeah, go ahead.
Production.
It plays a part.
Okay.
It plays a part. Sorry,
Okay.
It plays a part.
Right.
The production is poo.
Okay. Fuck, it's our show. I can say what I want. Is it overrated? Sorry, what? Is it overrated? Is Kill 'Em All overrated?
I think it's overrated.
Okay. What's the track list of the Kill 'Em All? Let's call it up. Let's see that.
Let's get the track listing for Kill 'Em All up.
Okay,
There's one or two songs.
We all remember the hits.
Like, oh,
See,
it's
we
a
all
shame
remember
you've
Seek
gone.
and Destroy. We remember the Four Horsemen. I'm trying to think of some of the what the less. You've got Pulling Teeth. Which isn't really a
honestly,
song,
it's not a song,
and
is
I love that to bits, and it's a great piece of playing. But is it a great song? So okay, what have we got
sure.
track listing-wise?
So it's Hit the Lights.
Why? That's a good song.
It's okay.
That's a great song.
Yeah, it just it reeks of Nwabum.
Okay. Well, it should do. That's what influenced
should do.
them.
That's
like,
what influenced them. But it just reeked of Nwabum a bit too much for me.
Okay.
Because I don't know. Sometimes I'm completely contradicting myself that I veer towards the American side of things. I do, but I don't.
Okay.
So it's a complete contradiction in terms. The Four Horsemen's all right.
I'll say this for every single person listening. Yeah.
Yeah.
The fuck are you to say the Four Horsemen's all right? I tell you what. I tell you what happens in this instance. It's like when someone comments on something in a movie, and I see this. Like, so someone watches a movie,
Yeah.
and they go, "Yeah, I went to see that." Insert your own film here. Big X movie. And you know what? It's not that great. It's like, fuck off. How many movies have you made? That's the Four Horsemen. That's one of the most
that's any
eclectic.
critic. You know, that's
riffs.
any critic.
Yeah.
Can be lampooned for his opinion.
Well, no, hold on. If you go to James Hetfield, what do you think of the new Mastodon album? He's got it. He could. I would listen to what he said. I think he's a good guitar player within the. What I'm saying is this: that's tough to throw the Four Horsemen under the bus. That's tough.
Okay, I'll throw the first bit of the Four Horsemen before
You're going by bar. We'll do bars 1 to 26.
That's great then.
We'll do by bar. Gets thrown in the fire. Bars 1 to 26 in the fire. And that's it. Okay. So let's move on to the next song. So,
Motor Breath. Nah.
I've never really liked that song.
No, never liked it.
Okay.
No, never liked it.
Okay.
This has got a lot to do with the fact that I didn't get into Metallica through this album.
Okay. Do you think it's like you being your favourite Bond? It's whichever one was around when you were when you getting into them.
You know, really, I got into them through Justice.
Okay.
And then, you know, because I got Justice, and then I got Master of Puppets, and then the Black Album.
Okay. So what's the next song?
So after Jump in the Fire.
That's a Mustaine riff.
It is, and you know, I've got a theory.
Do you know what pisses me off though?
Mustaine riff should stay with Mustaine.
Do you know what pisses me? I think Hetfield thought that as well. I think what pisses me off is how weird is Hetfield's voice during that song.
Do you know what?
Isn't it? It's like dead tinny.
You've actually just spoken about the main reason.
Is
why I hate this album.
I know he's like 10 when they recorded it, so it's like something like that.
His fucking voice is. He sounds like
he must struggle doing that again. Like,
he sounds like fucking Alvin.
Is
from
it
the
just
Chipmunks.
bad production, or is it just like fuck? They just come off the streets and that's what they write. Okay. So what's the next song?
Okay, Anesthesia, Pulling Teeth.
That's not a song.
It's not
in its strictest sense,
bass,
like, you know,
really, isn't it?
And it's fantastic. It's beautiful, and God bless you, Cliff.
Yeah,
it is fantastic. But
well done. That doesn't make an album.
Orion for me is a song. Orion is. That's. I'm playing into your thing here, though. I'm talking up Master of Puppets. Okay, so what's the next song? No Remorse, No Regrets.
Whiplash.
Whiplash. Okay. Yeah, it's a punk song, that though.
It is a punk song.
You know, dude, that's them nodding to Motorhead, isn't it?
I think
Lars,
you're right. Yeah,
being a huge Motorhead fan. Okay.
And Phantom Lord. Literally.
That's very forgettable. Phantom
not
Lord,
arsed.
isn't it? Literally.
Not arsed about Phantom
not
Lord.
Arsed.
When you can have a song that I just dislike, and I don't dislike.
Yeah,
I'd
rather you hated me or loved me, but not like non-song.
I'm not arsed about that.
Phantom Lord gets the fucking hell. Okay.
You know, if someone put Phantom Lord on in the Swan, which is technically our local metal pub, you know, I'd want to kick him in the leg.
I can't sing the chorus.
No, do you know
what?
I'm
struggling to remember sections of it.
The riff, but I can't.
Okay, that's tough.
It's forgettable.
And I don't think that's a dated thing.
You know what? It's forgettable.
Wow, imagine that. Fucking hell. Okay.
It's like saying, "Oh, doesn't he look tired?"
Oh Jesus.
You know, it's forgettable.
Okay.
No Remorse. It's
this whole album is Metallica.
Yeah, it's Metallica. And you know what? I think I'm losing guitar students now as well.
Okay.
But
you've wrote off quite a few riffs with this. Like, okay, so what have we got then?
Well, we've got the clear winner of the album.
Seek and Destroy is the only shield that someone can put up for this album, I think.
Yeah, I'd have to fight it hard. I'd have to fight Seek and Destroy hard to put it in the bin.
We're being tough here, though. We're being tough that we're choosing to kill an album because we have to. It's Sophie's choice with albums. We have to let one of them die.
Yeah.
I'd quite happily let it live on, but the truth of the matter, this game only works if you have to kill someone. And I'm not taking the easy routes, you know, the reload routes, and just I'll kill reload because we have to explain that. You know, we know it's not good.
Yeah, I'd have to try and explain that to the singer in my band if I killed reload.
So I think amazingly, fuck, marry, kill, listeners was, and thank you for listening.
We didn't talk about Metal Militia, by the way, which is rubbish.
The fact that we didn't, so we haven't really been comprehensive there, but we should do. and thank you for listening and to this ramble, as the best way I can explain it. But the whole point of Fuck, Marry, Kill was to create some division. And I never in a million years thought that the Kill, we would both agree,
I
would
didn't
be
think
Kill
we'd
'Em
agree
All.
on Kill. No, it was gonna be Saint Anger.
Right.
It's too obvious. It's just too. It's literally.
It
too
doesn't
obvious.
make it.
And you know what?
Make it right.
You
though.
know
You
what?
could be right.
There's some cracking riffs on that album.
Yeah.
There are some cracking riffs.
It is lost in
It's
the.
that fucking snare sound. It's like, really, when did anyone ever think
That's just.
that a tin can?
It's the problem is that like even a non-drummer gets onto that. Even someone who doesn't into in production or anything like that, just knows it sounds
I do
bad.
actually know drummers
Apparently
who
it's-
like that.
Apparently,
but,
it's his original drum, and he brought that, and that's the kind of thing with that.
took the snare
But
off
and look,
relaxed the snare. It's
but
just,
what are you
it's
going to
just-
do in
no.
Lars Ulrich? He just comes in and goes, "Okay, hey guys, here's what we're doing. We're doing this particular,
And
it's
also,
never been done before.
You
It's
know,
just like, you know,
you say Fuck, Marry, Kill, but like Saint Anger, I would give it the hardest kick in the shin.
really.
Yeah,
Okay.
he would get a proper.
Does it get
kick in the
it?
shin.
It gets smacked, doesn't it? Do you know what? I'll tell you what happens. Yeah, it doesn't get invited to the marriage of me and Ride the Lightning. It's not on the list on the
No,
tape.
when it tries to come to the wedding,
Yeah, yeah.
like, to
Yeah.
be fair, no, I'd have it beaten up.
Yeah.
I'd have it beaten up by the
and I'll
members
have-
of Megadeth.
We'd sit
beat
that.
it
Yeah.
up.
Did Megadeth come to the wedding?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, originally,
Dave Mustaine must.
I'd have Chris Poland.
You can imagine him just
like,
being very difficult, Dave Mustaine. Do you know what I mean?
put him in a cage.
Well, no, you can't put him in a cage. It's a fucking
Cage.
wedding.
Look, he's all hairy
you put
anyway.
him-
Look at he's
if
like a
only
wild
to put him
animal.
on the kiddies table. Just, I'm back in like the days with his sweatbands and everything, just to sit him on the kiddies table and say, "Shut the fuck up," and
Yeah.
stop going on about Tornado of Souls, like But so Fuck, Marry, Kill for me has been an unqualified and unmitigated disaster because we agreed on one of them and it was divisive. So what did we say? The fuck for you was
Justice.
Mine was the Black Album. The Marry was Master of Puppets.
yeah.
Mine was Ride the Lightning, and the Kill was an unmitigated disaster because we agreed on Kill 'Em All.
Yeah, well, I mean,
job, team.
there are great songs on there.
Yeah.
To argue against you,
Okay.
even though I argue against myself, you've got Seek and Destroy, which is one of their perennial live hits.
Yeah.
You can't.
It's like
beat
one of the
that
most,
live.
Yeah.
You
There's
can't beat
a
that
song they
live.
must be fucking sick to death of. Because
Yeah,
there's a midway point when even the crowd get a bit fucking sick of that song. I'm sure.
Even Lars has started to change the drum parts a little bit.
Right.
And you can tell. I mean, when you see it live, but they know that the audience lose their shit when they play that.
Yeah, well, it's
And obviously,
simple
they
to follow.
do Hit the Lights live, and they do Jump in the Fire, and
I think they've made a concentrated effort to go and try and play all their songs, haven't they? They've tried to go
when
back
Robert joined,
yeah.
because Jason could play them. He's a
Yeah,
great
yeah,
bass
yeah.
player, but they didn't do a lot of that.
Right.
They did Seek and Destroy, and Jason played a huge part in Seek and Destroy
Right.
with his backing vocals,
Okay.
and is very aggressive playing on stage.
Yeah.
But I think when they found that Robert could outplay Cliff's parts.
Well, hold on a second. We were almost done. You think Robert plays Cliff's parts better than Cliff?
Well, he's a technically more gifted bass player. I don't think you can argue with that. He might not have the writing abilities and
Right.
presence. He has a totally different presence.
Right.
Than
Yeah. No,
Cliff had.
he's a different
As
vibe
a
entirely.
bass player, he's fucking wonderful as
Right.
a bass player. I think he's a funk bass player though, really.
Suicidal tendencies.
Yeah, and the Infectious Grooves. He's a funk bass player. He's obsessed with jazz players.
Okay. Yeah.
You know,
Jacko. And,
Jacko,
yeah.
he owns Jacko's original bass.
Yeah.
But like, as a bass, technically, he is far superior to a lot of bass players.
Here's a question a lot of people would, I imagine, dying to ask Hetfield and Lars and that. What do you think Cliff would have made of the stuff they're doing now?
Oh, I think Cliff would have really told them off.
When do you think when would he stepped in? Would he stepped in on the Black Album?
I think he would have made the Black Album. He would have been happy with the songs, but he would have made them gnarlier.
Okay.
And I think a gnarlier is a good word for Cliff.
When's he kick off? Because he was known to be quite mild mannered,
I
wasn't
think
he?
he's going to start when we get to Load and Reload. He's going to start thinking, "Hey guys, this is not Metallica anymore." Even though I love those albums, there's some great songs. They became songs rather than thrash masterpieces.
Okay.
Whereas Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, Justice for All, they are thrash masterpieces.
Okay. Okay. That's why they're part of the Big Four. Then
That is their reason for being part of the Big Four. Is those three albums.
That gets them in. That gets them the buy-in for the Big Four. Done and dusted. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay. That was fun. I quite like.
That was good. We didn't hit each other at all.
I did not at all that you can hear. And I was just surprised that we had to kill him up. But I think, do you know what? I bet you we're not the only ones who think that about Kill 'Em All.
Oh, but the problem I've got, I'm worried about now is I know there's a new generation of young thrashers.
Okay,
who wear tight jeans and
the white trainers, tight jeans boots are back,
and like a black t-shirt, gun belts. And denim jackets, and this is, I mean, don't get me wrong, that's
patches,
fucking cool, awesome patches.
That's cool.
Battle jackets,
battle jackets.
Battle jackets. There is a picture of me with a tiny battle jacket on. But,
okay,
we'll try and hide that. Yeah.
Okay, I'll post that.
No, don't please. But they're going to really be annoyed because they have moved to the classic eras.
Okay.
Very, very quickly.
So what? So like Kill 'Em All seen in the same way that like War Pigs is, or something like that.
I think so. Yeah.
It's classic.
Yeah.
And then
wow, that was stereo classic then.
That's very, very, very morning radio. That isn't it? Classic.
It's because, as you said,
it's like a dirty word that now.
It's when you get songs from the Black Album on fucking
classic rock radio. Yeah.
And and to be fair. Nothing else matters. That get played on commercial radio.
Yeah, easily. Yeah, very easily.
All day long.
It's get played at people's weddings.
A lot.
That's fucking weird.
It's a big song at people's weddings.
I don't know, is that a wedding song? That's like people who have Every Breath You Take played at the wedding. And it's like, that's not about
it's a
love.
Bit, it's not about love.
That's stalking, that, isn't it?
You, mate.
Do you know what I mean? So, I don't know. Nothing else matters. I don't know.
I think with
The Road Becomes My Bride. Some lines like that on the Black Album.
It's I don't know. The God That Failed. My Friend of Misery.
Less I have, the more I gain.
Yeah.
It's not a wedding song.
I don't think it's a wedding album actually, but but I was actually at a wedding, and I actually got up and played guitar on Enter Sandman with the band.
Like the house band?
The house band.
With a house band and metal band?
They were a metal band.
Okay,
they asked me to come up and play with them when we played Enter Sandman.
That's cool.
And the very drunk heavy metal. I mean, there was every element of heavy metal. There were goths to thrashers to death to grunge guys, and they all got up. They were smashed.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay. Yeah.
Pissed out their minds.
Let's be absolutely clear here. They were smashed.
Yeah, close friend got married, and everyone lost their shit when we played Enter Sandman.
Sure.
Horrifically overplayed. And there are people who
would moan. I don't think there was anybody.
If it was on the radio.
Yeah.
It's overplayed.
But at that point in time, it's say what it's like. It's like the Guns N' Roses situation, and this just brings the whole thing back 100%. Is the Guns N' Roses now, going to play Coachella. It's the original lineup. It's not the original lineup, but we can argue it's not the original lineup.
Well, it's not going to be Adler because he's addled.
So it's Axl and Slash.
And Duff.
And God bless them. But they're going to be playing songs. I remember going to see Guns N' Roses with Leeds, and they waited, and he made us wait like the customary fucking hour or whatever it was. And I was calling Fit to Burn, but then when those first opening strains of Welcome to the Jungle and that air raid siren thing came through, he had me. And I think that will transcend anything. You know what I mean? I didn't think at the time who's playing bass. I didn't think, hold on, is it the original drummer? And I don't think people would give a fuck. Really,
I was lucky enough to see. Well, I saw Guns N' Roses at Wembley with Skid Row.
Wow.
And I was 15 years old, and my mum actually let me go.
Right.
Believe it or not.
Okay.
Greatest mum in the world. And she let me go with my
friends.
This
is as well. This is before the crazy stuff they had with barriers where it split the crowd up the middle.
Yeah, none of that shit.
None of that shit then.
None of that
you
shit.
Know what I mean?
Proper Wembley.
Proper Wembley, yeah.
Proper sound.
Yeah.
Skid Row weren't allowed to swear on stage.
Wow.
And they did anyway.
Yeah.
Arguably Skid Row, did they play better? Ooh.
That would have been the height of the powers, yeah.
Yeah, it was the height of their powers, absolutely.
Slate to the grind,
but Guns N' Roses made us wait an hour and a half.
So was this Use Your Illusion? Was this kind of before, after?
It was just start of Use Your Illusion show.
Okay,
the very start of the Use Your Illusion tour.
Okay.
And because that went on for about how many years?
I don't know. Too many
years.
Yeah.
And it was the original lineup, but with Matt Sorum on drums.
Okay.
and everyone was pissed off because we were waiting for an hour and a half.
So, but what did he open with?
What do you think?
Did he say Welcome to the Jungle?
Yeah.
Okay. And you customarily lost your shit.
I lost my shit.
So, didn't matter if...
I think my shit is still there.
Yeah. Would it matter if Slash wasn't playing?
Oh, yes.
Okay, we book ahead, I don't know.
Yeah, I've seen them. I've seen the Guns N' Roses tribute band with Axl.
Okay.
Because that's what they are.
Right.
And like Buckethead's amazing.
Yeah, great guitar player.
And Slash is sloppy as fuck live.
Oh, shit.
But it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because there's a dude in a top hat. You can't see his face.
Yeah, that's
and
what
there's
you're
a
paying
cigarette
for,
poking
isn't
out
it?
of his
Yeah.
mouth or on his guitar headstock. And it's attitude.
Yeah.
It's attitude.
Yeah. You can't, You can't replace it.
Axl replaced them with bloody great musicians.
Yeah.
DJ Ashburn, he can play.
You know what? You know what I think? I think when bands replace guys and switch them out and swap them around, it's got absolutely nothing to do with the playing.
Yeah.
But what I think it changes is the chemistry. Because I think ultimately, as long as you're not drunk or, coked up or whatever it may be, you can play the song. As long as you learn it, you practice and you can do that. It's the chemistry between the people. Like, it's the reason the Motorhead worked the way they did together. It's the reason, Anthrax works the way they work.
Yeah.
It's the way Slayer works, the way it is. When you start taking people away, you kind of ruin the chi.
Oh,
you're moving all the stuff around the house.
I'm going to argue with you there, though,
with
because Anthrax with John Bush were fucking amazing.
They re-recorded all this stuff as well, didn't they?
I really love that album with Only on it. I mean, it's a stunning album.
Anthrax will have to make it to the Fuck, Marry, Kill, definitely.
That's
gonna be tough. Like,
are we gonna do the Big Four then?
We should do the Big Four. We should do the Big Four. We can maybe do it in a whole episode, but we should maybe do the Big Four, and get it out. And more importantly, to get it out the way, because I don't just want to do huge bands. I want to do the smaller sides of metal. The Carcasses, the Killswitch Engages, these kind of people. Hey, they've done enough maybe to do Bring Me the Horizon and new some of this new crop of stuff
maybe
coming
Mastodon
through.
Because they've got a
Mastodon would be a great one to do as well. Yeah, we should definitely do that. So we covered quite a lot of stuff in the news and a lot of bits and pieces and all kinds of stuff. We did Fuck, Marry, Kill, and I hope you thought that was a little bit of fun and that was cool. But I mean, the elephant on this podcast, sadly, is obviously the comments and actions by Phil Anselmo.
Silly boy.
And you the problem is that you can't, if you don't say something about this, then you're almost included with that person if you don't.
People will say, "Why didn't you say something about this?"
We've got to talk about it because I promised that this show would be talking about topical things, and sometimes there won't be things that we like to talk about. Sometimes they won't be funny things. Sometimes there'll be deeply serious things, and the issue of racism is probably one of the most serious ones there. To get some sort of context, then Phil Anselmo is at a show. It's near the end of the show or something. It
was the very end of the show.
End of the show.
It looked like it anyway.
Okay, and he does what? So does he do first? Does he do a Nazi salute or?
No, he says white power first, and then
he says white power first, and then does a Nazi salute.
The thing is that if you watch the video, I think everyone should watch the
video.
I think just to get a context.
Yeah, the context is important on here.
That his friends and the stage crew were trying to get him off stage.
Was he drunk?
I mean,
was he drugged? He's got a history of drug abuse.
I've seen drunk people, and this guy was.
Would you? If you had to say,
organ shut down.
Okay, so he was
so drunk.
So let's we've all been drunk. Well, none of us have done Nazi salutes.
I've never done
and
a Nazi
shouted
salute.
white power.
No, not
but
done that, no.
The problem you've got here is we can all be stupid and do stupid things, smash things, push things over, do all that kind of stuff that people do with drunk. And we've all done them when we've drunk. We've gone into fights, we've gone into arguments. We've all done that.
You've woken up with the wrong thing, yeah.
We've all done that. We've all been there. The difference is this: he's a public figure. I'm not a public figure. Okay, if I go out now and punch someone, the best it's making the local newspaper, it's not going to make the internet. It's not going to set the internet
It'll
on
make
fire.
my news feed on Facebook.
It'll make your news feed on
Yeah,
Facebook,
that's probably.
but
yeah.
it won't make. That's it. Now that doesn't say that I'm more or
No.
less important, but and it shouldn't. I should watch my actions in the same way that
Yeah.
someone who's famous or someone that's looked up to. And that's the other thing he's
Yeah,
looked
but
up
he's
to.
but technically, what you're saying is Phil Anselmo had a moral responsibility,
Yes.
because he has an effect, and he's a massive influence on a lot of younger metal fans.
I that is exactly what I'm saying.
And that's where the problem lies. That is
Okay.
where the problem lies.
Right.
He's a figurehead.
He is, yeah, for a generation,
And he
for a
should-
genre.
Even if he's going to go on stage, and I've seen Anselmo many times live,
Yeah.
and he's being pissed, and
Which is kind of his thing, right?
Referencing Download again.
That
He went on stage with Download and threatened the crowd not to look at him, because if they looked at him, they wanted
But
to
isn't-
fight him and they'd
isn't-
lose.
yeah, but isn't
that was
that
cool.
isn't that what we want? Right? Don't we want our metal stars and our metal and hard metal and hardcore metal? Don't we want them edgy and aggressive? Don't we want
Absolutely,
Isn't
yeah.
Phil Anselmo's stick to be semi-drunk? You know what I mean? Smoking dope and kind of jumping in the crowd. Don't we want
And
that?
wanting a fight.
Yeah. Don't we
Yeah.
want that?
Yeah, we do want that, but then we don't want him to say quite,
Yeah.
bigoted, racist things.
Yeah. So the question is simple. It is simple. The answer is probably very complicated, but the question's simple. Is he racist?
That's a really tough one. He's been lampooned before for having
Yeah,
said,
this is not the
you know,
first
this is
time.
not the first
This
time.
is
and
not the
that's-
first time,
There's
yeah.
your problem. There's your problem.
Okay.
Not the first time. And he should have learned, but you can say he should have learned, but he was so wasted
Yeah,
that he clearly didn't care about anything in the world.
yeah.
But to cut back, what would have happened if James Hetfield had said that?
Yeah.
The whole world.
Oh, we did.
The whole world.
Yeah,
What if Justin Bieber had said that?
yeah,
There you go. Or Ed Sheeran. There you go.
yeah,
A
yeah.
man who can sell out Wembley with just him and a
Yeah,
guitar.
Ed Sheeran.
What if Ed Sheeran had gone on stage?
Yeah, shouted
Pissed
white
or
power
not?
and made Nazi salutes.
What
yeah.
if he'd done that?
I think he is a racist. Yeah, and I think the important differential and the way we move forward as a human race is that he is racist, but people are not forever racist, and that's what people need to understand. Okay,
Yeah.
and what he need as a person, he needs to understand that you can. If that happens and you say racist things or do racist actions, that you need to understand that person can change, and he needs to understand that person should change.
Yeah.
So, I think he is. I think he is racist.
I think he's actually
don't think he's-
genuinely remorseful.
Oh
though.
God, 100%. I think he's completely sorry. He said for whatever reason, because it's fucked up downplaying Download
Lots of
and
festivals,
European
lots of festivals, yeah.
and I understand that. And you just got to figure he's going to have to figure his way back, from this.
Yeah.
But then let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
So Dimebag Darrell has a guitar, yeah, with a Confederate flag on.
Well, this is an interesting thing. I was reading about this.
Okay.
Okay.
Do I think? Let me just sidebar this. Do I think that Dimebag was racist? No, I don't think.
No,
I don't think there was a
I
hateful
think he
bone
was
in his
proud of
entire
where
body.
he came from, where the Confederate flag is still very prominent.
Yeah,
And there's a lot of people, a lot of Americans online were arguing that the Confederate side weren't the racist side as
Right.
much as the
Right.
other side weren't the racist side.
right.
It's just the Confederates lost,
Yeah,
and then the government then decided after a while,
yeah,
not straight away, to abolish slavery.
yeah,
Okay. And that didn't happen immediately,
yeah.
So is he proud of where he was from? Yeah. Did he ever say
Yeah,
white power?
I don't
or do
think-
a Nazi salute. No,
I don't think
Dimebag
there's
never did that.
I don't think there's was a hateful bone in his entire body
No,
against
Dimebag was
any
clearly a
person.
cuddly little
Yeah.
guitar
Can
legend. That's what he was.
can we still listen to Anselmo's music if we know he's a racist?
I won't lie.
Yeah.
that I haven't listened to Pantera since then. But
At all.
Down came
Right.
on my in my car as random. I have a jukebox function in my car, and it came on randomly. Stone the Crow and then Pillars came on,
Okay.
and I enjoyed them.
Okay.
I didn't think at the time. I was driving along.
Yeah.
I was singing along.
Yeah.
I was really enjoying myself. And then they went off, and then something else came on. I think
Okay.
Right in 2 by Tool came on.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, shit. Now,
Okay.
I've avoided Pantera.
Because...
almost. I was just like, I'm going to have to give myself a break.
Right.
Because that angered me. Watching that video, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
you absolute prick.
Yeah.
You've made a boo.
And that is a piece of art that he's created.
Yeah. And then I was like, well, do I feel guilty for listening to that?
Yeah.
I didn't feel guilty. I don't think I did, because
first thought is-
those other guys.
Your first thought, let's call it as it is. Your first thought is, am I racist because I listen to Pantera? Because one of the people in that band
absolutely
has but that's some people out there's thought process. Or you listen to let's it seems that we're talking about deep and dark subjects. You look at the Lost Prophets now. You can't listen.
Yeah.
You can't listen back to them. Even though there was 4 or 5 other people in that band. Apart
very
from,
sorry for those guys. Yeah.
And it's that type of thing. Is that it's really tough. I think what needs to happen, and if you ever listen to this film, I'm sure you'll never will, but is there's got to be a moment you're going to have to go away and really sort of reevaluate things and take a long time before you come back. And I think that's probably what I'm going to do with their music.
Yeah, he needs to make things good.
Yeah, I mean,
before he can get to where. At one point, I think Anselmo was the greatest metal frontman alive.
he certainly could
Alive
lay
at
claim
the
to it,
time.
yeah.
He was the greatest. I think the likes of Corey Taylor did take over from him.
Yeah, there was a definite
I think they
baton
did,
hand, and Jonathan Davis certainly was around to take that from him as well.
He definitely did that at one point. But he's still seen as a father of metal. Anselmo now. He's no longer a brother of metal. He
doesn't make the Mount Rushmore, but he's definitely there.
He's definitely
there.
And he's someone who's very copied.
Oh God, yeah,
as a frontman. But there's the problem.
Yeah,
he's very copied.
Yeah.
So what do these kids who are 13? You don't get born racist.
Yeah, no.
You learn how to be racist.
Yeah. So you're saying some kids the obvious problem here is that some kid sees that and goes, well, Phil Anselmo does it, so I can do it.
Some kids might have been on. Some kids might have been on the fence.
Right.
Maybe they've grown up in a racist neighborhood or with a racist family or whatever reason. They may have been on the fence and they've heard Phil say that and they've gone, well, Phil says that, so
yeah, it's okay.
So it's okay. And he's got to end it. He hasn't in his apology.
Yeah.
He didn't say.
Has he apologized? He did apologize. Was it a video or was it a statement? Okay.
It was a video apology where he's kind of like, he looks very puffy and like he's been crying a little bit.
Yeah.
And he doesn't actually say, I'm really sorry for saying white power.
Okay, that's a problem.
He says,
my actions were.
I'm not a racist.
Okay.
Which
is always the worst thing to say.
I said, hey Phil, stand up, be a man.
Yeah.
Because you always going on about how tough you are.
Yeah.
Stand up, be a man, pull yourself together.
Yeah.
Chin up, say, hey, I said this, it was wrong.
Yeah.
I was a complete dick. He has said he's stupid, and I was a complete dick. I'm gonna go away, and I'm gonna come back and prove that I'm not.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna do something to show that I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
set an example.
I'm going to do some work for equality in music.
Yeah.
There's many charities.
That's the one thing. One of the reasons this is called the Spoken Metal Show, and thanks for kind of listening to this sort of inaugural one, if you will, is that it's very hard to get excited personally for me about different styles of music. You never hear people wanting to go to war. And argue and be as passionate as metal fans, and racism is one of the things that I think that metal has had a torrid time with, and I think that it's one of the I thought metal was all inclusive. To me, metal has always been inclusive. It included everybody. Couldn't get a girlfriend, metal loves you. Do you know what I mean? You black, white, young, old, whatever your religion, whatever it is, metal welcomed you, with open arms. Christ, and then Christ intentionally. We had Striper, there's Christian metal, we welcomed everybody, and I think it's like there's always been that little thing that we sometimes get attacked as metalheads for racism and that type of thing, and I think metal's the other way. I think it's completely open.
Most metal fans that I know, and that's a lot, are they're very open-minded and not bigoted at all in the slightest, and that's how they like to be. They're open. They accept everyone.
Yeah, and but quite often the homophobia thing gets thrown around, racism gets thrown around as well, and I can honestly say that I just don't find that in that sort of in the metal community. I just don't find that, and I think we're very quick to point that out. To when it happened with the Phil thing, I think there was an enormous swell of people to go, hold on, that's not us, that is, hold on a second, yeah, he's one of ours, yeah, he's one of our figureheads, but that is we will be the first to say that is unacceptable, and that's not the way forward. And I think that's probably the biggest thing that I've loved about metal and hard rock and all that is that it has always been the supporter of the underdog, the underprivileged. Do you know what I mean? The outcast, the outsider.
We are the alternatives.
The alternatives,
we are the alternatives. Yeah.
So it is disappointing when someone like Philip Anselmo goes and does those
There's something to be said though. Close friends of mine in a great band. The guitarist said, hey, yeah, he was wrong, and it was really fucking stupid. But if you're living your life on the words of a drunk, and he is openly a drunk.
Yeah, I suppose if you take everything that he's saying as gospel and go do that, then there's
look at yourself a little
there's
bit.
Other issue. Yeah, there's that self-reliance. There's that you've got to you can't expect to every single thing that you do. Well, hold on, let's take this to the next step of like back in the Judas Priest days when they were done for suicides and teen suicides and things like that, and and kids killing themselves and all like that, and backwards messaging and records. I mean, if you haven't got you must have a problem in the first place. There must be something else going on. It can't totally always come from that place. There must be some issues you have that leads you there. And like you say, if you're taking all your advice from largely a drunken idiot, you know what I mean? If you're getting your life plan from there, then you're not going to find yourself on a nice path. You're just not.
No, you're not. So maybe look elsewhere as well as your music, because there are some great role models in music.
Yeah, and Mel's got some fantastic role models.
People. Interesting. I like what Corey Taylor said about it, and it's well worth checking out. But he was drunk. He was an idiot. He was wrong. I think it should be left as that. And he then, in turn, he needs to make it right. He needs to make it, because he hasn't made it right yet.
Okay, yeah.
He needs to make it right.
Yeah, there's some grand gestures and some serious words need to be said. And I think that and he's Phil. You're more than welcome to contact us in whatever way and speak about it. I'm sure he's inundated with people wanting to get the scoop on him and getting to speak on a television show and all that. And do you know what though? You're not welcome to speak on this show. You're not. You go away and have that moment with yourself. Spend that an hour and a half you would have been talking to us with you just on your own, and you figure out what you need to figure out, boss.
And make it right, sir.
Make it right. Okay. Well, we've covered an enormous amount of stuff here. We've had some quite funny stuff and some deeply serious stuff, which is always the intention of the Spoken Metal Show. We're going to try and get this sort of happening every sort of periodically at least, and try and get some bits and pieces out there, so you can contact us and ask us some questions, what you think we should be talking about, and we'll pretty much just cover whatever's in the news that particular week, month, or whatever it may be. And that's pretty much all we wanted to talk about now. This sort of show will take on different formats as it kind of moves and grows and evolves and moves from its primordial slumber and kind of gets to where it needs to be.
We're still primordial ooze phase.
Yeah, I'm still ooze. But we'll get there. And,
This was our Big Bang, actually.
Oh, is that what it was? Yeah. Okay.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. And it tells you what you thought of it. You know, we were talking a load of nonsense. You know, Kill 'Em All is an amazing album. You know, what your thoughts are on the Phil situation, thoughts on the AC/DC situation.
I only said those hateful things about Kill 'Em All because I had to say about
Well,
one
now
of them.
it's the Dyer's cast.
Yeah, I
So,
just like to say,
so that's
I
that.
had to kill
So
one
that's
of them.
that. You will probably be attacked.
I had to kill one of them. I just like to say, and
So
and I don't live in Liverpool.
okay, so so I'll just wrap it up now. I have been Coop. I've been joined by brother Tim. Good morning, good afternoon, good metal, and thanks for listening to the Spoken Metal Show.
I don't wanna be rude, you saying more than if I'm rude, you better deal with it. Cause if you can't accept my conception, fuck your perception, you better listen to my